So this week in the BB house is way more interesting than last week. I feel like there's a lot going on, a lot of conversations, a lot of scheming. Hopefully as time progresses this season, it gets better and better. We can only hope. I found it really sweet that David and Nicole A have this bond. I love that talk that he had with Nicole A. He was motivating her and making her feel that this isn't the end. I feel really bad for them both. They're both crying and upset about the nominations. Obviously, I think it's no surprise. They're right there in the middle, that floater game, and Memphis really wanted to play it safe. And since Ian is safe, that's not an option anymore. Kevin, again, is blabbing and has an awful read on the house. He doesn't trust Janelle and Kaysar. He was saying that Janelle is a predator and she's just trying to pull in Nicole and him. He couldn't be more wrong. He has no clue about the dynamics in the house, and it's kind of infuriating to watch. I just think if Keisha would have stayed in the game, it would have obviously been so much better for that side of the house. But Kevin, again, has no clue. I hope he gets a clue soon. Day, no surprise, has caught on to Memphis's alliance with the Cody, Nicole F, Danny, Christmas. It's obvious. These people are saying that they are an alliance that doesn't meet, yet they're always meeting. So, and Day is very perceptive. I know her reads have been off this season, but she realizes it. I think for Day and Bay, the best bet would be to join forces with Janelle and Kaysar, playing with the other side where they're low on the totem pole. Memphis obviously was considering putting them up, and Cody has other allegiances. I know he mentions he's cool with them and he has that alliance with Enzo and them, but I don't know. I think he's also worried about them as well. I've said this before, but the second HOH has never won Big Brother, and this year's probably not going to be any different. Memphis's HOH is not going how he wanted, and he's already put a huge target on his back from his own alliance, which is huge. I think that first HOH, you get the benefits of forming those connections and those alliances, but the second one doesn't have the same advantages, and he has rubbed people the wrong way. What he said to David when he was nominating him about, buddy, welcome to the grown-up table, just rubbed people the wrong way, Tyler included, you know. So I don't see him doing well after this. Next week, I know he can play on the safety competition, which he needs. So yeah, and if he puts somebody to backdoor, that's going to be another issue. I know he doesn't want to go against Janelle and Kaysar because those are numbers for him, but his own alliance is getting upset at that because they know that their names are in Janelle and Kaysar's mouths, so they feel betrayed by Memphis. Nicole F is even thinking about putting Memphis on the block and targeting him, so not good for him. Memphis keeps saying that it's fine, that Ian is safe, but it's obviously not fine because he keeps talking about it. He was talking to Janelle. Janelle actually, smart on her part, pulling him aside and having that talk with him, even though pretty much the whole house was aware of that. But she was trying so hard to save Nicole A, and meanwhile Nicole A is getting brainwashed by Kevin and Danny. So not great. I feel awful about the position that Janelle and Kaysar are in. I really hope Memphis doesn't listen and put them, either one of them, on the block. But basically, Memphis was telling Janelle that he doesn't want to live in a house with Ian, and Janelle mentions, yeah, he's flashy, and Memphis mentions that he's annoyed that Christmas saved him, which we all know he's annoyed, that he looked like he was gonna have a temper tantrum. He was just, and Christmas had no clue that he was targeting Ian. It's just that communication between that alliance is just obviously not there. So David was crying after the nominations, and he was in the room. Danny was in that room. Cody came in and he kind of walks David out, kind of forces him, kind of nudges him. I don't know why, but Danny yells at him and she's like, why'd you just make him leave the room? Whatever. So it's obvious that there's issues there, and it feels that things are going to explode sooner rather than later. So I actually really liked this when I saw it. Tyler and Ian had a talk, and I haven't really seen them talking, but they had a talk and they mentioned taking care of each other and just connecting every so often, which I really like. Obviously, I was a fan of Tyler in his season. This season, I really wasn't too sure what to expect, and obviously he's been aligned with the part of the house that I'm not rooting for. But seeing that connection between him and Ian, and the fact that Tyler really does care about David and he wants to get Memphis back for what he did to David, makes me like him again. I know I feel like such a flip-flopper, but I'm for it. I think Tyler has the potential to go far. Again, he's smart and he's under the radar right now. Danny is really pushing a Janelle Kaser nom for backdoor. If the veto is used, she's really obsessed with Janelle. I don't know why Janelle's name is in so many people's mouths. Danny mentioned that she wanted to take over that queen role of BB, so I have no doubt that she wants Janelle out so she could be considered the best female BB player. She wants Janelle to be dethroned and she wants to be the best. I think even her father, I know her and her dad don't have a good relationship, but Evil Dick did mention on Twitter that Danny is obsessed with Janelle. So Bay did warn Janelle and Kaser about Nicole A and Kevin, which I love. I want Bay and Day to align with Janelle and Kaser. I think that would be the best move for them. To me, I know Bay ran back with information before, but I feel that she is probably the most loyal to Janelle. Obviously, we see Nicole A flip-flopping and Kevin all over the place. But I like that she came with this information because, yeah, Kevin is talking a lot and Nicole A is easily influenced right now. So for veto, the players are Memphis, David, Nicole A, Nicole F, Tyler, and Ian. So Tyler and Ian play in another veto. Tyler always says that he gets picked. And he does. I guess it's just getting lucky. I think he didn't play in 2 of them his season, which is nuts. That whole time, and he made it to final 2, obviously. So you're just destined to play in vetoes. So we'll see what happens then. They're doing that tonight. So we'll see the results of that. Cody has noticed that Bay and Day are talking to Janelle and Kaser more, which makes him doubt them even more, which again reiterates my point that they should align with Janelle and Kaser. I think that is a safer option. Danny and Janelle agreed they would keep hating each other to steer people a different way. Even though I do think in this game, Danny actually does hate Janelle and wants Janelle out. Maybe outside of the game, they're good, they're still friends, whatever. But Danny reported all this back to Nicole F, which just makes me realize further that she doesn't care about Janelle. She's playing her own game, and Danny is actually in a good position. Cody, Tyler have mentioned that she schemes a lot. I think Tyler addressed the feeds and said that, and which is true, she does. Feeds went out for a bit, apparently. Ian got his punishment. He has to wear different costumes at certain times. I'm not sure about the logistics, but I'm sure we'll find out soon. I'm excited to see him in all the fits. I hope there is a dog costume. Bring us back to BB14. So Janelle actually did ask Nicole A if Kevin has said anything about her, and Nicole A lied and said no, even though obviously Janelle knows because Bay told her. It is so wild to me that people don't want to work with Janelle and Kaser. I would love to work with them if I was in the house. I don't know if it's just fans that think that. I just feel that they're very loyal, even though I know they haven't won, so obviously they want to go for that win. But I think they're great people to work with, so I'm like, why, guys? Davon actually was telling Nicole A that if Nicole F somehow went on the block, she would go home because she has already won. And I'm like, you know, maybe that could happen this week. But I doubt it, because I don't think Memphis would be for it, since he is in alliance with her and he still, I guess, likes her, even though that whole Christmas saving Ian thing. So that's all I have for you right now, waiting on the veto competition to see who wins and what happens. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know who you're rooting for. Who do you want to win the veto competition?